Welcome to Frozen Files, where the mysteries of the past come back to life. Imagine leaving campus for what you call a week off, then vanishing into a New England night and becoming the center of a mystery that refuses to die. That is the case of Maura Murray, a bright nursing student, 21 years old, who drove off Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, on the evening of February 9, 2004, and walked away from her crash into a cold, uncertain dark. The evening began with ordinary actions that suddenly looked strange in hindsight. Maura sent terse emails telling professors she needed time off for a family emergency. Her family says no such death occurred. She packed clothes into her car, withdrew cash from an ATM, and drove north. Around 7:27 p.m., a passing motorist reported a crash on a sharp curve. A bus driver stopped, spoke with Maura, and left after she said she had called roadside assistance. By the time officers arrived, Maura was gone. Her vehicle stayed as a mute witness, driver's license, textbooks, and small personal items left inside. Those details pushed two competing early theories: voluntary disappearance or foul play, but neither offered satisfying answers. Search efforts were immediate and intense. Local police, volunteer search teams, and state trackers combed woods and marshes. A scent-trailing dog picked up a trail from Maura's glove and lost it after roughly 100 yards, suggesting the possibility she left the area with another vehicle. Investigators interviewed friends, a boyfriend, and people who had contact with her in the hours before the crash. They reviewed call logs and the minimal physical evidence. The odd mix of preparation and apparent abandon puzzled loved ones. Why pack clothes yet leave behind other items? Why tell professors a false story about a death in the family? Those contradictions fed rumor and sustained the case's mystery. Over the years, Maura's disappearance became both an investigative challenge and a cultural phenomenon. Critics of early police work pointed to inconsistent interviews and delayed forensic processing. Others warned about the danger of treating a missing person as a runaway when circumstances felt suspicious. The family rejected the runaway narrative, insisting Maura's behavior that day did not look like someone intent on disappearing forever. Meanwhile, podcasts, online message boards, and armchair sleuths kept her name alive. Some efforts surfaced useful leads, but many blurred fact with conjecture. That public attention helped ensure the case never completely froze. But it also created noise that sometimes distracted investigators and caused fresh anguish for the family. Time also brought tools. Forensic science, digital record analysis, and cross-jurisdictional cooperation evolved in ways that would shift how cold cases are approached. The family commissioned private searches. Law enforcement reopened and reviewed materials. Age-progressed images were released to show what Maura might look like today. A sober reminder that missing person cases span years and lives. The New Hampshire Attorney General's office at times worked with family advocates. Those collaborations kept official resources attuned to new possibilities. Small pieces of information, a receipt, a voicemail trace, a witness recollection re-examined, acquired new weight when viewed through modern techniques. A responsible retelling must be careful about what is known and what is merely suggested. Over 2 decades, many names, sightings, and theories have circulated. A few led to formal inquiries and dead ends. Others remain unresolved. The single guiding principle in this story is clear. Verified evidence belongs with investigators, not with unchecked internet speculation. The Murray family has repeatedly asked people to pass credible tips to law enforcement first. That request is about protecting the integrity of the inquiry and preventing harm. What anchors the story are a few established facts. Maura was involved in a single vehicle crash on Route 112 on the night of February 9, 2004. A passerby spoke to her at the scene. By the time police arrived, she was no longer there. Her car contained personal effects. Searches followed. The case later moved to cold case review, which keeps investigative avenues open and resources available should new evidence appear. Everything else must be measured against those anchors. The case's haunting quality lies in its everydayness. A student, a car, a dark road. That ordinariness is what made the disappearance so destabilizing for a family and a community. It also underlines a sobering truth about many missing person cases. Resolution can come from a single overlooked detail, a retested sample, or a witness who decides to speak years later. Patience and methodical work often displace spectacle and conjecture. Today, Maura Murray remains missing. Her family continues to search. Law enforcement continues to treat the case as suspicious and active. Public interest remains steady. If you engage with this story, do so with care. Share verified information with authorities. Avoid amplifying unproven claims. And remember that behind every headline, there are people whose lives were altered forever. The question of where Maura went and why she never returned stands open. An invitation to look harder at small details, to re-examine the records, and to listen for the one voice that can close a grieving chapter. When truth arrives, it will do more than end a mystery. It will offer a measure of peace to those who have kept vigil for more than 2 decades. Until then, the search continues.